It's just about 10 a.m. here on the East Coast. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing today in hopes of easing tensions between the two nations. Xi said the two sides made progress and reached agreements on some specific issues. Face the Nation moderator and CBS News chief foreign affairs correspondent Margaret Brennan has more.
Good afternoon.
This brief face-to-face encounter with Xi Jinping, China's all-powerful leader, is why President Biden sent Secretary Blinken to China.
The United States and China have an obligation to responsibly manage our relationship.
This intense diplomatic push is meant to avoid a direct conflict. Blinken is the first Secretary of State to visit since 2018, due in part to China's severe pandemic lockdown, but also the plummeting relationship. Blinken and Wang Yi, the top foreign policy advisor and a Communist Party leader, had a terse exchange. They'd clashed in February, shortly after the U.S. shootdown of the Chinese spy balloon, when Blinken confronted him with intelligence showing that Beijing was considering providing weapons to Vladimir Putin. For its part, Beijing objects to recent U.S. restrictions on sales of high-end technology, the expanding American presence in the Pacific, and U.S. support for Taiwan. Blinken's prime goal? Open lines of communication to avoid a military clash with a nuclear power.
The door is open, and my phone line is open.
China's military chief refuses to meet or talk to Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. That heightens the risk of miscalculation, particularly given what the Pentagon calls a series of provocative actions, like this Chinese fighter jet, which flew dangerously close to a U.S. surveillance plane last month.
I think China's sending a message, hey, we're in charge now. You're finished, to the West and to the United States. And I think it's indicative of what they hope to achieve.
So it's just more information about the visit to China and then how the diplomat met with Beijing, with Xi Jinping. So the fact that he met with Xi Jinping shows it's like a really big deal, but the question is whether or not that this is going to lead to any economic breakthroughs, and it clearly hasn't. So again, this honestly just seems like there's a real-time pivot in real time that China's no longer economically interested in growing their economy. So that just seems to be what's happening, and here they had nothing economically even that they were discussing basically at all. So it just shows that Xi Jinping isn't going to stop what he's doing economically, and it's just going to continue. So we'll see what happens.